If you're a fan of animals like us, your heart will break a little after reading this story. But worry not, it will also be mended. The animal we'll be telling you about is an abandoned horse that's been mistreated by its previous owners. The gracious animal was dumped at the Laird Park, near Grayson Road in Modesto on a Monday night. The next morning, police were called on it. Garcia and his son were out fishing in the region at the time when they heard a vehicle approaching along the side trail. Intrigued by the odd vehicle, they stopped to get a better look at it and see what the passengers came to do at such a time. Later, after the event, Garcia stated in a Facebook post that he could tell it was a dark-colored truck towing a single-horse trailer. The truck was followed by a dark minivan with a white roof, which would only be suitable to transport horses. Garcia wrote that he could hear the horse causing a rumble inside of the minivan. It was obviously agitated and furious. However, he didn't pay attention to it until he saw it with his own eyes for the first time. When the truck left racing, Garcia spotted a skeletal horse lying on the ground with open wounds. The poor animal was in anguish, tormented by the wounds and the obvious mistreatment it was receiving for God knows how long. Garcia immediately pulled his phone and called the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Department to report what happened. Soon after his call, a contingent of deputies was dispatched to assist him. Thankfully, one of the people present knew someone who could help with the horse's misery. The woman was Bobby Karn. She had extensive experience rescuing animals. She had a long history of success, as she'd been saving lives for the past 20 years and was the ideal woman for the job. According to Karn, it was not uncommon for her to receive these types of calls. Whenever anyone learns of an animal in need of a rescue, they give her a call. She said that she has worked with a lot of rescue organizations and saw some truly horrific things happen to animals. Despite her experience with badly treated animals, Karn was caught aback by the state of the horse, to which she gave the name River. Karn explained that the horse was severely malnourished and had multiple pressure wounds all over its body. In addition to its severe wounds, River also had rather fresh scars on its face, which were probably due to the fact that it wasn't secured to the trailer. Whoever took it to the park didn't have River tethered. Now that they knew of the horse's aggravated state, they needed to plan how to move it from there to a safe location where River would get the needed medical assistance. A man who lives in the neighborhood noticed the deputies covering River. When he inquired about the issue, he immediately ran to his house and returned to the site with a double-wide horse trailer. The crew was finally able to get River up on its feet into the trailer. The agonizing horse was transferred to the Taylor Veterinary Hospital in Turlock. When it got to the hospital, River was in a very delicate situation. The blood work revealed that the horse had been suffering from malnutrition for an extended period of time. According to Garcia Carlos, the practice manager at Taylor Veterinary Clinic, the house body condition scale measures the amount of fat on a horse's body on a scale from 1 to 9. 9 indicates that the horse is overweight. A typical horse would be around the 5 or 6. River was at a 2, indicating severe malnutrition. Under the supervision of Dr. Rebecca Curry, the team at Taylor Veterinary began treating River's wounds by administering medication and cleaning its fresh wounds. The starting horse was also provided with healthy food in a slow and steady manner in order to avoid causing a shock to its system. Carlos said that even though the assistance River required was being provided, it wasn't out of the woods yet. Both Karn and Garcia decided to use social media to spread the word about the horse's plight. Their posts quickly went viral, with everyone showing sadness for the poor horse's state and rage towards its owners, who not only mistreated it for years but dumped it in the middle of the woods, left to die of its wounds. For Brian Camden of Riverbank, the instant he saw the post about River, he knew he had to act and called the clinic on the spot. He says, "I already have 2 rescued horses of my own, and I grew up on a ranch in Kentucky, so this is exactly what I'm familiar with." After speaking with Karn over the phone, Camden promised her that he would take care of River after it was discharged from veterinary care. Camden went to visit River on Tuesday, hoping that he'll be able to make it to its new home. The following day, when I scratched him, he gave me a friendly smile. He seemed to be really relieved. Camden added, "You can tell he's a fighter." Camden decided to keep the horse's name River. All he did was add the suffix Maximus to it in order to demonstrate the inner strength the horse has shown despite its injuries and malnutrition. Camden said that when he first made the decision to take River in, he thought that he'd take care of the recovering horse on his own, but he was proven wrong by everyone in his neighborhood. He explained, "I was utterly taken aback by the level of love he's received from the community. I am at a loss for words to express my appreciation. I would just state that horses are a significant responsibility and that people should conduct thorough research before purchasing or adopting them." There are absolutely no acceptable explanations for River's current state. The horse was purposely starved and neglected for months, and then it was left to die in the middle of an abandoned road. There are a great number of rescue organizations that would have gladly taken care of it had the previous owners just given it to them, since they were obviously unable to take care of their horse. Unfortunately, this is not the first time horses have been the subject of criminal acts. Authorities have been tracking an increase in the incidence of violent crimes against horses since 1993. Horse ripping is becoming recognized as a new criminal activity. Death, maltreatment, mutilation, and sexual abuse of horses are all considered to be criminal and deviant behaviors. The study comprises a comprehensive situation assessment covering the period 1993–2000 with particular emphasis on the development of crime. Particular attention was paid to the specificity of injuries and regional distribution. The horses are repeatedly harmed by the criminals on a systematic basis. Victims' injuries are 25% located in the genital area, with a further quarter suffering injuries to the neck or the head. Female individuals are the one that suffer the most from sexual abuse, as they are preferred for rape and zoophilia. During initial conversations with horse rippers, it became clear that their focus on the victim horse is not steady. Horses were most of the time merely symbolic victims. The act of horse ripping is usually only the first step in a criminal career, as they would later commit other violent crimes. People that harm animals do not usually limit their criminal activities and atrocities to animals. There is even a well-established correlation between cruelty to animals and aggression against humans, which is why animal cruelty must be taken seriously by law enforcement and society. According to a major 1997 study conducted by the Massachusetts Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals and Northeastern University, animal abusers are actually 5 times more likely than non-animal abusers to cause harm to other people. Another study that was released in 2013 concluded that 43% of those who perpetrate school massacres also commit acts of animal cruelty, most commonly towards cats and dogs. According to Phil Arco, the coordinator of the National Link Coalition, a nonprofit that focuses on the confluence of violence against animals and violence against humans, animal abuse as a sign of domestic violence, or what is also known as predictor crime. Furthermore, according to another early research that was conducted in 1983, if a child is cruel to animals, it may be a sign that they either suffered from major abuse or neglect at the hands of their parents. In addition to that, children who witness animal abuse are at a greater risk of becoming animal abusers themselves. Another study states that 89% of women who had companion animals while in an abusive relationship said that their animals had been threatened, damaged, or even murdered in the most extreme cases by their abusive partner. Violence against animals must be taken as seriously as violence against humans, as most often, the two are strongly linked.